Pink light for ambiance, white light for authenticity. We're gonna have to test it out. It's just not as fun to look at though. Look at that. Very visual about these things. Okay. Hey, it's Debo. Y'all, today we are finally getting into some makeup on this channel. It's gonna be sort of like whimsy, ethereal, aura, cool, iridescent, transcendent, whatever, like, you know the SpongeBob meme? Yeah. It's kind of like my regular base with a bunch of shimmers added on top. It's very similar to my makeup in the prior video with the acrylic markers. Yeah, shout out to the UK girls. They've inspired me. And as an American, as someone who lives in the region of North America, I've taken it with me and added my own twists onto it. But without further ado, testing. Okay, let's see if I can do this in one take. We are starting off with the thinning of the brows. Yes, we must shave them even past this point. The thinner, the better. That's the only thing I'll ever say that about. Next we move on to my tried and true, which is Nivea cream. Skin prep is so important to how your makeup is going to turn out, and Nivea is just such a creamy thing. Oh, this Innisfree sunscreen with hyaluronic acid, it feels like a serum. Like, even if I stay inside, I'm still going to use it. Next, I use my NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is really good for precision if you have like itty bitty brows like me and you're really particular about whether they're straight or, you know, you still want them to be super slim, or if you do like that feather design in the front too. Girl, I can't help you if you mess up. This is a voiceover, so you're gonna have to get it together. All right, but yeah, I'm happy I made my way to the thin brows. I feel like they're just me. They feel the most like, and you get a lot of lid space that way. I feel like even if you have hooded eyes, it still works. Sometimes if it's too dewy, they're not going to turn out right, but I don't like doing them later in the makeup process. They're kind of like the catalyst for how everything's going to go, so I like to do them first. The thing is, I have such a dewy base. Speaking of dewy bases, Milk Hydro Group Primer, come to the front. I really hope this is not like, I won't even put that out there, but you know, feeding into some, let me shut up. Also, one of my favorite primers. I never really used another one after trying this one. Then I start with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. I recently got into this. I was usually using my concealer to, you know, carve out my brows under, but I wanted to try white for this time around because white is like more cool toned than my concealer color, and I really liked how it turned out. I have not gone back since. And yeah, it's also a creamy, I love the consistency of it. If I could, I might even start using it like to brighten my concealer and that inner, you know, like I said, them UK girls, they've influenced me. So it can be heavy, it can be light, it's really up to how much you apply, and I love that control. And then I blend, because at the end of the day, it's still a white product on brown skin, and I don't want to look too crazy, okay? Oh, yes! Then we move to the Juvia's Place concealer. If you're wondering why I'm using a concealer that's my skin shade as a foundation, it's because I have never liked foundation a day in my life. I don't know if it's the formula of every single foundation I've ever used, but it always feels off, like it's burning on my skin. I hate it. So I have always used a dark brown concealer instead and not foundation. I didn't lay my edges. It's also a bit of a journey finding a foundation that's cool toned, but I feel like I even it out with this Fenty Beauty Match contour stick because it is so dark. And so, I mean, it does feel a little bit warm, but everything does come together in a way that's like, damn, that's tea as you do that. I used to be so against contour just because the only shades I could find were like literal charcoal black. Not fun when you're 15 years old and trying to find yourself, but yes, thank you Fenty, thank you Rihanna. we have come a long way with this contour stick. I was also a never put a makeup on my forehead kind of girl, but now I have switched over and I put that shit on. I think it does full out the look, but I don't think you look crazy if you don't put makeup on your forehead. Juvia's Place blush, we're here. This is like one of my Mount Rushmore products, this Pink Lady blush. And the purple one too, but this pink one specifically, I always like smile and blend that way so I can get it on the apples of my cheeks. I now apply blush before concealer, and that has seriously changed the game for me. You guessed it, yes, more Juvia's Place concealers. Shade 9 and 19 together are such a dangerous combo. Like, they really flow together to bring the brightness into my face, and once these two get into the picture, it's like, oh, there's the look. There I am. There is the beat. There is like what makes it dramatic. And I'll also put it on my forehead and my chin for more harmony. For good measure, I also go back in with that foundation shade to make sure it all blends well with my face, and I let it dry now. I used to never let my concealer dry, and I was like, why is it creasing so horribly? Why am I bad at this? Why do I suck? Why can't I do anything? But I mean, it still creases a little bit, but like way less. Let your concealer dry before you blend it out. I used to think people were crazy for telling me that, and now I'm like, oh, I understand it now. This is a life or death moment. Amen. And this part right here is the main reason why this is a voiceover, y'all. I cannot sit here and entertain you and talk to you when I'm trying to create a Michelangelo, a David, a Mona Lisa. Honestly, the blending takes time. It took, like, I had to create a formula of like blend the outside, then do the right side again, then go a little bit in, then go back out, then start, you know, I can't just blend the entire left side and then blend the entire right side, because I'm going from like darker shades to the lightest shade in the center. So it's really, you got to figure out how this flows for you. Pick a movie, pick a show. You're going to be here for a while. At least I'm here for a while. I used to think that I had to conceal as fast as possible, and that's why I had really shitty, you know, creases everywhere. But this is honestly my favorite part. I love blending my concealer, and when it's all said and done, I don't know what to do with myself. But once again, shout out to the UK girlies for, and I don't care if I'm gonna like get older and think this looks crazy. I think it looks great, and I think it looks perfect, and I would go even lighter if I could. Okay, I blacked out there for a second, but getting back to technique, I do go from the outside in, and when I get to the really inner corners of that light shade, I scoop it into my eyelid as well, and it sort of acts like a primer for eyeshadows as well. I never really use eyeshadow primer or add concealer on top because of this step, and it just saves me an extra couple minutes, and it works for me. This Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, girl, I missed you my whole life. Where have you been? I eventually, you know, one day when I'm in that tax bracket, maybe I'll get to that Charlotte too. But this really does the job. When it's matched with this setting powder as well, like, I think it's really important to have duo products in that way, whether it's setting powder and setting spray as well, like having duos. This Morphe translucent powder, guys, I also didn't know translucent powder was the way, the truth, and the life, but it is. This also is a game changer. This is like, once these two steps are done, concealer and setting it, I'm just like, I'm here and my life is fulfilled and I don't know what else to do, but I'm sure it won't amount to how much fun this was. No, I do have a good time, but I just love this part. And once again, put it on your forehead, put it on your chin, and set the rest of your face. I go in with this Juvia's, I think it's a bronzer palette, but honestly, I just use it to set the parts of my face that have the contour, that have that foundation, and aren't like super bright. And sometimes if the concealer is a little too bright, I'll use this shade with a powder puff to try to blend it in so it can match the rest of my face. Oh, we have another Mount Rushmore product with the Fenty Beauty blush in Drama Class. When I saw that this had come out and I had tried it, I was like, oh, Like, this was made specifically for me. Like, thank you, Robin, so much. Like, we're now on a first name basis because I know you made this for me specifically. This is when it gets whimsy. This is when it starts getting ethereal. When I put that blush on and we set everything, now we can move on to the shimmers. Yes, I'm so excited. I started like building up my shimmer collection because I learned that I don't love wearing too much eyeshadow, but I feel like a good shimmer on the brow bone or even just the inner corner feels like enough. I'm using this Too Faced Precious Gems palette for my brow bone just to give it like that greenish fairy forest, you know, earthy. And as a Capricorn, you know I'm there. You know I'm there. Once that's set, I move on to my inner corner and I'm just giving it a white base with this Morphe Party Crasher palette. Not a like clear white, but it's sort of this like translucent grayish shade, which I feel like doesn't look completely ashy on me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's just sort of a base so that we can see all of the shimmers. But honestly, now that I look back on it, I kind of just wish I put the shimmers on top. Like, I feel like they would shine brighter if I had just put it on my dark brown skin, but I digress. We'll get there when we get there. And then I use that brown shade from the same palette and I use it to smoke out the outside, just keeping it really simple. I don't want to do too intricate of an eyeshadow look because I want the shimmers to take heed, to be the stars, but still I wanted to give it a little bit of a base to work on top of, you know, to build a foundation. Okay, ending it right here and then putting on lashes and lips would sort of be like what's normal for me, but we're gonna add some shimmers, make it more iridescent, make it more ethereal, you know what I mean? Half magic, half magic, come to the front. This eyeshadow single, I want so many more of these half magic little guys, and I wish, honestly, I wish my nails weren't so long. Well, that's a lie, I never want, but like I wish I could have used my finger, because it's just the oils in your fingers pick up the shade in a much more beautiful way, way more aura, way more ethereal. But I still love how it turned out. This shade is just so pretty. I love a teal. I'm into teal these days. And then I moved on to Too Faced. That's my jam palette, because I wanted multiple different colors everywhere. I wanted, you know, when I turn you see a different shimmer and you're just like, how is she doing that? She's just kind of like that. And then I go in with this pink on the ends of my eyes, and I low-key, sometimes I do that for like an everyday look. I will just add that pink to the ends of my eyes, even if I'm not doing like an intricate look. It's a little bit of a signature for me. I think it's cute. If you can't tell by now, I was winging it with which shimmers I was putting and where, and then I go back into that Morphe palette just to get that purpley shade to use on top of that blush. That Fenty blush and then this eyeshadow on top of it is so purpley iridescent, pretty Winx Club. I love it so much. I've come a long way with putting black in my tight line, not because it's hard to do, but as an Ethiopian girl, I always hated anything that made my eyes look smaller. I feel like they should be big, like Abisha girls have big eyes. But then I realized I have my dad's eyes and no one had more aura than that man, so I'm like, carry on that legacy of aura. So I was like, it's cool. I'm realizing I might be low contrast because I don't like my brows this dark. Yes, I keep my lashes in a Ziploc. Shut up. Don't worry about me. If I could truly recommend one thing in this video, it is kiss/drip in drench. Just be careful when you put the Bond glue like right on your eye. I always do it too close to my eyelid. And when I go out and I start sweating, it gets in my eye, and then like my night's over pretty much. The Kiss like wet series for their lashes are genuinely so beautiful, and I feel like I've finally found the lashes that fit best for my eye shape and what I'm trying to give. I will rebuy these forever and ever and ever and ever until the end of time, honestly. This is my sister's mascara. Sorry to you, sister. But she said I could use it, it's fine. It's really good. I now also put mascara in my bottom lashes. It was also kind of like an insecurity, but I got over it. I like the way it looks. Do I take down my hair and then put on my lip combo, or do I put on my lip combo and then take down my hair? What earns it more? Like, what is the final, like, what is like, when it's done is like, okay, there's the final piece. I'll do my lip combo first. Yes! My final Mount Rushmore product. I think I only listed 4. But MAC in Night Moth, oh my gosh. I became grown when I bought this lip liner. This lip liner goes where I go, honestly. It's so versatile. I use it with browns, with pinks. I use it with clear. This made me feel like I became a woman. And then I use it with the NYX lip liner in Rose. I don't really use lipsticks too much. I like to just use liners with gloss. And then I top it with the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm in Gummy Bear, which I honestly use like every day as like a regular little guy, but I do love it to top off lip combos as well, especially if I want it to look a little lavender. And listen, when I put these flexi rods in my hair, something always goes wrong one way or another, but it actually turned out nice this time. This is the finished look, guys. Oh my god, I love it. It's giving whimsy, ethereal, iridescent. I added this Glam Vice loose glitter. Added it to my lips for like that final oomph. Unfortunately, I am running with the story that it looks better in real life or on my phone than it does on this camera. But anyways, regardless, I digress. Thank you for watching the process. If you did your makeup with me, I'm glad we could hang out. Let's do it again sometime. Finally makeup videos on this channel. I'm so excited. First of many. I don't want to make empty promises, but like that's what I want to do. So I'm gonna say it, put it out there into the uni. Here's the jewelry. I rewatched Practical Magic last week and it put me in a mood, but I'm kind of always here. You know, time casts a spell. That's kind of where I'm always at. I'm trying to get all my curls out. The ones that I didn't curl everything. I was a little lazy with the process, but you know, I think it gets the point across. And what's great is if you're sweating, it kind of adds to like the iridescence, like it adds to the aura, it adds to like, it just looks cool. This is my good side. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, comment, whatever you feel like, but don't be, you know, have some sense. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.